Adult Learning Theory class. This is the second class in this coaching endorsement. The third class will be, you won't meet with during these synchronous meetings like we are today, but it's really good. It's good stuff. So today we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a couple of new students that didn't join us the last time. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things just regarding the, oh shoot, my third screen is struggling. Hold on. Just moved my computer. I think it's the connection. I'm in someone else's office. So just went away. Let me just try it. I'll get back in. Okay, hold on. I'll just use one screen. I thought I had everything all set up, and I did. It's just technology. So anyway, let me share my screen again. I was just right here on our class, and this is here's our class, Adult Learning Theory. And so when you come onto the class, you can see the Zoom meeting link right here. And then if you have two screens, it's really helpful if you go to module 1, which each module will open up the day before we have class. So this is the synchronous meeting, our live meeting materials. You just click right here. And when you do that, it will go to the Nearpod that we are going to follow along with. So you guys can see that, right? So here is the Nearpod. And the other thing is if you miss class, you know, we all have things going on and you can't make it to class, then you can always go to that same link. It should be within the next day. Jason usually has it up, and you'll be able to watch the video of the class. So now that's all done. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Teresa Pugmire. I'm an early learning coach for Northeastern Utah Educational Services. I live in Heber City, Utah, and I'm still somewhat connected with the Wasatch School District as a coach. We support all the Northeastern districts in the state, but I live here in Heber City, and so I travel around to a few different districts, and I work. I'm rarely in my office. Today I had one of those rare office days. It was nice to be here for a minute, but I have a lot of districts that I support as a coach, and I work with teachers, I work with administrators, and I work with coaches, and I love all of the above. My favorite days are days when I'm in the classrooms, and I was just in a classroom today, last Friday, and it was a first grade classroom, and the teacher was having the kids practice some spelling words, and they had to talk open and closed syllables. So the word was Cupid, and this little first grader raised his hand. He said, "Is Cupid that funny clown from Paris?" And the teacher looked at him and said, what do you mean? And he said, you know, the one that goes like this. And he started doing like a mime. And anyway, the teacher and I busted up laughing. It's just so funny I love to be with kids. So I love teaching. I love teaching adults, but it is always a good day when I get to be in a classroom with kids. So anyway, This is our live course. These are the meeting norms. And with this meeting, I like to throw in a few extras, little things. Not that I'm going to have you do extra things, but I like to give you extra resources. But so these are the, the meeting norms that were already on here. 3:30 is when we will start. And we'll talk about our ending time in just a minute. We may end early to give you time to plan your professional learning, your big project that you're going to be doing for this class. I would like you to be fully present. So if you can be in a place where you're not really distracted, that's why I had to come here at my office. Sometimes I've done this meeting from home, but my dog Walter really distracts me. So I'm like, no, I have to go back to the office. So anyway, and also not to mention my husband and my family, sometimes they distract me too. So if you can have your cameras on, that's the very best. And I understand if for some reason you need to have your camera off, but it's easier for me. It's easier for the other participants for you to have your camera on. And then especially when you're in a breakout room, we're going to be doing breakout rooms a few times today. And so obviously the norm for a breakout room would be to have your camera on and to discuss the task or question with thought, meaningful consideration and respect. So I added some different norms on here. I'm reading this is my current book that I'm about halfway through. It's called the PD book. And it's by Elena Aguilar. If you took the first class, then you read her book. And this is a new book that just came out in 2022. And I love it. And I think it goes so well with this course that we are taking right now. So I'm just going to be sharing things as I'm reading this book along with the class. You guys are not required to buy this book by any means, but I just want to share some gems. And one of them are her norms that she does before professional learning classes. And I really liked these. These are number one is take care of yourself, like TCOY. Have you guys used that in the classroom? And then, which kind of, it's pretty broad, but it's a good norm to have. The next one is to be fully present. I love that one. It's so easy to not be present nowadays. The next one is take risks. I love that. I think it's really great for us to, kind of go out of our comfort zone a little bit. And then be mindful of other learners, which, when we could think about, sometimes there's someone in a professional development class or session, and they are not mindful of other learners when they think that they don't need to participate or listen because they already know everything. So I think that one's a good one too. And then the last one is have fun while learning, which is something that I hope that we can do in this class, because I think it's always nice to have fun when you are learning. So just so you know, the live meeting that we're doing right now, you are graded on it. This is the rubric for it. And pretty much I'm a really easy grader. I'm very understanding as well. If you have any kind of issue or problem, and you have to leave in the middle of the meeting or whatever, just let me know. It's totally fine. One time I was in a synchronous Zoom meeting and I had to pick my daughter up from school. It was last year. She went to Midway Elementary School and the meeting ended, I don't know, it started at like 3 and ended at 5, and I had to pick her up at 3:30. And so I was like, well, I'll drive, listen to the meeting while I'm driving, and that's all fine. But then apparently I did a rolling stop instead of a complete stop when I got to a stop sign and I got pulled over. So I hurried and jumped off the Zoom meeting. And so that by the time the policeman came up to my car, he did not know I was actually on a Zoom meeting. Anyway, so don't do that. If you need to go pick up your child, just go ahead and leave for a minute and then come back and don't get pulled over. So, okay. So this course, the meetings are always at 3:30 and on the third Tuesday of the month. And I just listed the dates there. They're also on the rubric, or sorry, not the rubric, the what is it? I can't think of the word. Syllabus.
Is it the course calendar?
Yeah, thank you. I got plenty of sleep last night, I promise. I'm just yeah, so on the course calendar or the syllabus, the dates are also listed. And so we will meet 4 times. This is meeting number 1. And it's always at the same time, but I'll always send out a reminder the day before as well. Okay, so we are going to do a breakout room. And let's see. I forgot. Before we do that, Jason, I want you to hop on and introduce yourself as well. And then let's do our breakout rooms.
Okay, I got your sorry,
Yeah.
the camera is off here. And plug that in.
Now we can see your elbow.
Yeah. All right.
I'll stop sharing for a second.
Okay, there we go. I'm Jason Stowe. I'm the regional technology trainer at News, and I am doing the technology part of this. I'm also in charge of getting the credit through. I know I had someone email me that you have until right before our next meeting to register for the SUU credit. If you don't want the SUU credit and just want the USBE credit because your district doesn't need it, or you're not working towards a master's, or for whatever reason, you'll get a 3 USBE credit for this course, or the 3 SUU credit. You do have to register yourself, pay the money. That does not go to me, does not go to News. It goes to SUU for registration. I think is it now $32 a credit?
I don't
Or
remember.
$3 a credit, something like that.
It was 69 for the course.
69 for the full course. Okay, so that's 3 credit hours. And I have the list from those of you who signed up for the first course. And as soon as I get the grades from Teresa, I will submit that. And then I will go on, submit that for your SUU credit for the first course. And then I will go in those that didn't apply for the SUU credit. I will give you the USBE credit. The credit for this course, the adult learning, should be available by the very beginning of May. So those of you that need these credits for licensure, relicensure, you should be getting a little email from your districts, from the person who's in charge of that, letting you know that you need to do that. The email does say you have to do it by June 30th, but please don't wait till June 30th. Just from experience with other teachers and myself, it's too late on June 30th. They won't answer the phone. So you need to get that done. And then the final course, you'll get the credit at the beginning of the next school year. So you'll have 6 credits in licensure hours. That's I believe it's 16 each. So you'll have over 45 licensure hours from these 2 courses. Like Teresa said, when the course, when this is over, I have to download the video, edit the video. I will put it up on the module for that week. So if you ever have to miss it, you can watch the video. And also I will reset the Nearpod to be student paced, so you could come in just in case. Many of you I know have many hats and you might have to coach or something comes up, you'll be able to do that. If you have any other questions, technical side, you can email me, credit-wise, email me. Otherwise, I will send you to your breakout rooms for 5 minutes as soon as Teresa introduces what we're doing.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Before we go to breakout, we've had a couple of questions. Well, a couple things. Couple people messaged me that they're in the same room, which is great. So they will, let's see, when I'll make sure that they're in the same breakout room. That's just fine. If you want to be in a breakout room with somebody specifically, just put it on the chat and Jason will make sure that happens. As far as the USBE credit coming to your Midas, Jason, you want to address that?
That'll go to your Midas, and then you will have to that'll show up on your Midas, no problem. You don't have to do anything. As far as SEU credit, when you do your relicensure, you'll have to get a transcript from SEU to show evidence of that.
And I don't know. Oh, we don't get a transcript from Midas though, right, Jason? If they take the course through Midas, then it's just on their Midas account, and they just have to put the course that they took and the date that they took it when they fill out their coaching application. Is that right?
Right. When they log in, they can actually type or click on the PD transcripts, and it will create a transcript for you. And then you can just copy that onto your form. Yes, for relicensure.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, so if any other questions just regarding that, if there's ever technical issues, Jason's the one to solve them. That's why I'm happy that he is here. It's very nice. And then other, you can always email me as well, and I'll see what I can do. But Jason really does most of that solving for me, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to have Jason put you in breakout rooms. But before we go, I'd like you to answer these questions, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to try. I'm getting better at doing this Zoom teaching. I actually did my first Zoom letters training. I taught it and I didn't love it. I'd much rather do it in person, but I did so much better, and I challenged myself. I learned some new Zoom things. So we'll see if this goes okay. But I am going to share in your breakout room once you're there. I'm hoping I can figure this out, that I'm going to share these questions, but I would like you to answer the following questions. Share your name, your position, and your location. And then the next question is, what about instructional coaching are you excited about right now? So you could consider capacity building, implementation of something specific, specific practices, or something else that's kind of on your mind as far as instructional coaching goes. All right, so go ahead, Jason, let's go to breakout rooms, and we will be there for 5 minutes. It took me that whole time to figure out how to share that, what I wanted you to talk about. Anyway, we're getting there. We're good. So let's go back to, I'm going to share the Nearpod again. And I hope that you met someone new that you didn't know before. That'd be nice. Here we go. Okay, so I gotta move myself out of the way so I can see. Okay, here we go. So I think instructional coaching is an exciting position to be in. And it can be really hard some days. And so it's nice for us to have each other kind of to talk to and share ideas and things like that. So the let's just keep going here with everything. Couple of other things that I shared with you. Oh, I forgot about this. Which emoji best describes your current state of mind? So go ahead, let's share this and see how this turns out.
Teresa, what if I don't know how to do an emoji on my computer?
Oh, okay. So go, or you can do a GIF. You can go
I
to,
guess I could do a GIF. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm dumb. I know how to do
That's
it on
easier.
my phone, but I don't know how to do it on my computer.
Let's see.
That's the good one, Jason. I would be doing that.
I just want to approve all of these. Can I change that, Jason?
When you set up the Nearpod, yes, you can change it.
Oh,
When you
next time.
actually do it, you have to just click on not to approve, but you
Okay,
can't.
I'll try
Yeah.
and remember to do that next time. Okay, yeah, okay, we got some emojis.
We've all done it.
Every time I do this, I learn something new. Oh, there's a good one. Yeah, life has been really busy and really crazy for me. I think it is for all of you. So let's keep approving. Oh, there we go. I like that one. Uh-oh. Someone's exploding emoji. These are good. It's kind of crazy because sometimes you think things will calm down. I don't know why I think that, but they never really do. These are funny. I hope you guys are actually looking at the Nearpod yourself and not necessarily just on the screen, because you can see them a lot better. So, all right, we're going to keep going. So we're going to talk about the endorsement for a minute. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit at the beginning of class, but this is requirement number 2. It's a blended learning design, adult learning theory. It will be finished by May 2023. And then the third class, and I saw this question earlier on. I think it was, let's see, Michelle asked it. So the third class is the asynchronous online design. It's the instructional design and assessment. And I put fall 2023. That's when it could be finished by, but we're a little bit flexible on that, in that some teachers do it over the summer, and some want to do it during school time, so that some of the things they're working on, they can apply it to school. When I did the course, I did it over the summer, and that was okay, because you can kind of plan and prepare some of the instructional design learning and assessment that you want to do starting in the fall. So anyway, we're kind of hoping that fall 2023 is when that's finished. And it won't open up until May. Michelle, you asked that in the chat. And so even though it is it's asynchronous, you're doing it at your own. We will still we'll meet in May one time to go over the course and all the requirements for it. And then you will do it, and we'll let you know what the deadline is for it. Let's see, I see a couple of other things coming in the chat. Does that help? Okay, good. Okay, so now down here at the bottom, I've got endorsement areas that are not requiring coursework. So there's requirement number 4, strategies for effective instructional delivery, demonstration of competency, and requirement number 5, effective leadership and collaboration, demonstration of competency. You have to have been an instructional coach for 3 years before you can receive your endorsement. And so if you have not been an instructional coach for 3 years, you can do, requirement number 1, 2, 3, but you really can't get your endorsement until you can mark these requirement 4 and 5 off. So if you're a brand new coach and you were hoping to have your endorsement by the end of this year or whatever, you cannot have that until you've been a coach for 3 years. So just so you know that.
Well, and that is, if some districts don't actually have coaching yet, but it would have to be a mentor role position or a school leader type position in your school would also count for those years. So
Yeah.
it's tough
I
because
think
some
even a
districts are
team
just
lead-
starting with coaching.
Yeah, that's true. Even like a team lead could count. So it's kind of, something that you have to work with your administrator on to kind of come up with that plan. Now down here, I just put this link in. It's the USBE coaching endorsement site. So you can click on that and that will take you, let's see, I feel like I had one open. I don't know, I have a bunch of things open. But anyway, it takes you to the site. I guess I could try. I think if I click on it. Okay, yeah, we're good. Can you guys still see where it went? Okay, so this is the site. And there's the overview, the competencies of a quality instructional coach. Remember last class, I couldn't find the link for this and I couldn't remember where it was, but now I know. And then here it is. This one is the endorsements. And then here is the application. Do not use this one over here. It's retiring this year. And this is the current one, the one on the left-hand side. So
Teresa,
right.
can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
On the actual application, for the first 3 courses, the ones we're taking now, there's like a left-hand column and a right-hand column. The left-hand column has all these check boxes that it seems like an administrator would need to check. Is that, oh, okay, maybe you're looking.
I got it here. So
the course
yes.
is in lieu of being checked off on all those tasks. Is
That
that
is
right?
correct. Yeah. So
yes.
sections 1, 2, and 3 are done by this course. So by taking the course, you fill in the information you've taken them from. There's News USB course when you took it, and they will check your Midas. So they will make sure that when you go to do the endorsement, they'll actually even call us and just say, "Did you take the course?" And we'll say yes, and they completed it. But we'll give those names to USBE. So when you do the endorsement, they'll just check it off. 4 and 5 will have to be done by your supervisor.
And that is them checking off each of those tasks to show.
Let me show you. So here we have the foundations of instructional coaching. That was the one from the fall. This is the one we're in now. So when you fill this out, you'll just put, instead of putting the unless you want the SUU, it doesn't matter. But for your endorsement, the Midas course is just fine. And you'll just put, when you log on to your Midas, you'll see the course code, or you can, I think we have the course code on the canvas. You can just fill that in. And then your 3rd course right here is the instructional design and assessment. So you'll do those 3, just putting in the Midas is just fine. And then this is the requirement number 4 and 5 that I talked about. And this is where you'll look for, you click on this and it takes you to the evidence below. So this is, you have to fill in your name and then go through with your supervisor all these areas basically. And
it gives the questions for your supervisor to ask. And what you're expected to do is simply then give evidence that you've met those requirements. By example, I ran this meeting, I did these impact cycles, whatever. I created PDs in the district and the school. So they'll just ask you the questions. I just went with a teacher this week or last week and filled this out and got this done. And then it usually takes about, you send it into USB-E, they got me done in less than a week. So usually within 1 to 2 weeks, that will show up on your Cactus and your Midas for your endorsement.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could essentially be working on parts 4 and 5 with our administrator throughout this year. And then as soon as we finish
Absolutely.
that summer course and all of our grades are in the fall, we could apply for, we don't have to wait until the coursework is done before doing 4 and 5.
Yeah, the last meeting for this course, either with Teresa or I, we're going to give you kind of a roadmap. And for some of you, you're done. You just fill this out, have get it done by your thing, and you can, as soon as it goes in, excuse me, as soon as it goes into Midas, you can be in the endorsement. That happened last year from some teachers at the Weileman School. They were endorsed right at the end of the course. Some of you might need to wait a year or two, but we'll give you kind of a roadmap on what you need to do, what you need to let your supervisors and your school administrators know, so you can meet those requirements when the time limit comes for you.
Yeah.
That
And
helps.
Helpful.
a couple of other prerequisite requirements. You have to have at least
It's right there. 5 years of classroom teaching. You've had to be in Utah for 1 year. You've had to have 3 consecutive years of high or effective ratings on your teacher evaluations or your whatever evaluations you're doing, and that's kind of it. But
Yeah.
again, it doesn't have to be instructional. It can be or school level leadership experience. And that's why with the roadmap, you have to have a conversation with an administrator to put you in a position so you would qualify as quickly as you could. So getting you into a leadership position or PD situation where you're running some PDs for your faculty, something like that would also count for it.
Okay. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Let me see if I can get back into our class. Here we are. Can you guys see that now? Okay. Let me just make sure I covered all those things. Yeah, I think I did. So any other questions on that? Awesome. Okay. So for tonight, this is our agenda. We are going to kind of go over some of the expectations of the course and talk about adult learning theory, competencies, and principles of adult learning, and then we'll wrap things up and kind of talk about what to expect. So we do have a required text, and I sent that out to you. It's this book, Adult Learning Theory, Linking Theory and Practice. It's an excellent book. I think it's a great book for this class. When we get to, I think it was chapter 10. Let's see. It's Adult Learning in the Digital Age. So this book was published in 2014. That doesn't seem very long ago, but chapter 10 is a little outdated, I think, personally, especially since COVID, because adult learning is happening so very much digitally nowadays. And so anyway, just a little warning for you there. I think that just that chapter is a little bit outdated, but it's an excellent book. I shared this. This is the syllabus again. And on the syllabus, you'll notice that I tried to, so I put, today's January 17th. I put in-person meeting. I guess I should say synchronous meeting. I just mean in-person meeting, like you have to be here. I mean, you don't have to be here, but it's better if you're here to participate, that we actually have a meeting time, that it's not just something that you do on your own. And so that's right now. And then for the next part, I put January 17th through February 20th. That is your asynchronous Canvas. And so you'll be doing lots of reading. You can see the topics and then all the readings. And for each module, there are 3 chapters in this book, and they pretty much go in order. No, they don't. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. So 1, 2, 3 is for this time. And each chapter has a little reading workbook, Nearpod. And so I think the easiest way to do it is to just open up the Nearpod and open up your book and have them going at the same time. Like you don't have to read through your book and try to remember everything to answer the questions in the Nearpod. There's a little quiz at the end, and that's just part of that goes along with the reading. And then also for the assignments, there's always a discussion, and this time it's the introduction to adult learning theory discussion. But there's usually some sort of an assignment too. And so this time it's the philosophy of adult learning assignment. And I'm the kind of person, I really like to plan ahead to know what my assignments are. And I opened up on the assignments. I made them available, those specific assignments, like all the chapter reading stuff is not available, but like the philosophy of adult learning assignment is open. And then in the second module, you have a individual change project assignment. And I think you need to know ahead of time what these assignments are. And so I've opened them up so that you can kind of be planning your life and ready to do them. So that is the syllabus. And this just, again, this is, I did the date range, and we usually have everything due the day before we have our next meeting, synchronous meeting. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions about that? Okay, let's go back. I see in the chat, Tiffany said, I don't see this course in Midas. What do I need to get it in there? And Jason, what it's going to, will it just show up for them in Midas?
Will the course show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the SU courses up right now on my computer, and I will, as soon as I get those grades pushed through, I will do the USBE.
Okay.
So it'll show up
They
automatically
won't
once I
see
push it
this
through.
on their Midas account until after this class is finished. Is that correct?
Right. So the first class will show up sometime this week.
Okay,
So because it's
Thank you.
Mhm.
that's great. I'm glad everyone's asking questions. That's really helpful to everyone. So, okay. All right, Jason, do you see Michelle's question there? Do you want to answer that too? Are you there, Jason? Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, so back to the Nearpod. So each month we have a meeting. We'll discuss the readings from the previous month. We'll have lots of opportunities to engage in discussions with our learning community. And then we're going to, synthesize a lot of the learning into practice and have lots of discussions about them. When you're on the Nearpod platform, that's, the synchronous meeting that's happening right now. And that's where I can see like how much you participated in the Nearpod, and that's where you get the grade for your synchronous meeting. All right, we already talked about that. Okay, if you are in an LEA that you want to work with someone on to collaborate on your assignments, like for example, one of your assignments is to do a professional learning design project. And that is in module 3 and 4. There's part 1 and part 2. And it's a pretty big project. If you are in a, if you're in the same district with someone and as a district, you're going to present or plan a professional learning for teachers of professional development, then at the end of class, we will give you some time. It may not be a full 30 minutes, but we will give you some time to work with the people that you want to work with. Like, I know, like, for example, you could work, if you are a coach and you're supporting a school specifically, then, and maybe someone else in this class they want to do kind of like the same kind of professional learning opportunity for their teachers. We're gonna talk about that, but I want to give you time to collaborate if you would like to. And so when we have a break here in a little bit, I think it would be nice if you type in the chat if there is someone that you want to collaborate with. We'll make sure that you are always in the same breakout group. And then at the end of the meeting, you can stay on and work during that time, or you can work on it, at a different time and just be done with the class. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I shared this a little bit already. Sorry, I always jump the gun. I forget I have slides that are already telling you the information you need to know. Okay, so we are going to do the next part, which is adult learning theory competencies. So what are the USBE instructional coaching endorsement competencies under requirement area number 2? So here they are. And remember that link that I shared with you earlier that took you here. These are the competencies that this course will meet. If you didn't take this course, you would have to kind of figure this all out on your own. And this is really nice. It kind of gives us what they are. So the first one is to understand and apply theories of adult learning in instructional coaching and professional learning experiences. The next one is recognize and support stages of educators' development, understand theories and stages of self-efficacy, understand and apply theories of change, and oh yeah, thanks. Thank you. I know. Let's see. Design and facilitate effective professional learning by incorporating adult learning theory, and then differentiate when working with educators to honor experience and meet their needs. So those are the competencies, and those are very, we're going to work through all of those as basically those are the learning targets for this class. So we're going to take a moment and consider our experience so far with adult learning. So go ahead and answer this question. What was the biggest adjustment from working with students in a classroom to now working with adults? So go ahead and take a minute, think about it, and I'm just going to be quiet and let you guys think and answer this question. All right, looks like I've got about almost everybody participated. So I'm going to share a couple of the things that were said. Let's see. The biggest change for me is the amount of background and preconceived notions adults come with, good and bad. It also seems that adults are slower to buy in than students. However, I do find a lot of the same strategies apply to both groups of learners. Yeah, definitely. There are some things that apply to both. And it's, it's important to kind of know what does and what doesn't. Obviously, what doesn't apply. Let's share another one. This one. Adults have stronger opinions about what they know and don't know. Their years of their own experiences and background knowledge bring a lot to the table that needs to be worked with for an effective partnership. It can be difficult to get buy-in from adults until they see the effects of coaching. Oh, I love that. Again, that buy-in, we definitely need to have adults need to know why they're doing something. And that's why I want to share this one too. The why for learning is always important with both students and adults. However, I feel that adults question the purpose and how the learning will benefit them more because they are so busy. Their purpose and direct application to their lives needs to be very strong and explicit. The why, that's so important. So those are all really great. If you, I think it's really interesting. If you've never really thought about the difference between teaching adults and students or children, you are going to really have a lot to think about during this class, and I think you'll really like it. So when we think about children, this quote is from our book. It says, "A child is dependent on others for care. Learning is a child's major activity in life, and much of this learning is in preparation for assuming the tasks and responsibilities of adulthood. Going to school is a child's full-time job. But adults, in contrast, have many other roles and responsibilities. They may be going to school, even full-time, but they add the role of student onto their other often full-time roles as caretaker, worker, and citizen. I mean, as adults, our full-time job is not just learning. I wish it was, and I wish I could support myself like that, but no, we have so many other things on our plate that we have to take in consideration. And so because of that, as teachers, as coaches, or whatever your role is, when we are teaching adults, there are some different principles that we're going to talk about. So we're going to zoom out for a minute from instructional coaching, and I just want you to right now we're instructional coaches, but let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And I want to ask you this question. What positions in your district, school, or community demand understanding of effective principles and practices for engaging adult learners? So think about all the positions in your district, your school, your community, and think about what effective principles and practices for engaging adult learners need to be in place. So you can answer that on this next page on the Nearpod. So you could think about all the positions, like your principal, your superintendent, anything. Team leaders, for sure. Instructional coach, principal, district administrators, church leaders, team leaders. The guiding coalition at the school, that's good. Tech coach. New teacher mentors. I like this one. Pretty much everyone in the school, because we all have to work together for a common goal. Hopefully, we all act like adults. Yeah, hopefully, right? Okay. All right, very good. So just kind of take a minute, read through those. You can like them if you want, to the little heart. All right, we're going to move on. Okay. I want to just take a 5-minute break. We've been in class for a full hour. We're going to just take a 5-minute break and come back at 4:34. Sound good? All right, it's 4:34. I hope you were able to get some chocolate or whatever it is that you needed. I'm going to reshare my screen and go back to our class. Okay, so we're going to get before we do anything else in this class, we need to define a couple of things. 2 really important words. The first one is pedagogy. And all of you have used this word multiple times as educators. It's something that but it is the method and practice of teaching children, especially as an academic subject or a theoretical concept. I mean, that's the definition in the dictionary, and we know what pedagogy is. But the new maybe word that might be new for you is andragogy. So andragogy is the method of and practice of teaching adult learners. It's adult education. So the word andragogy is used in our book all throughout. And I think for me, when I first learned about andragogy, it made so much sense. And it really helped me to recognize that there is a really big difference from teaching adults and teaching children. And so it's really important for us to understand that term. This is let's see. This is a video I'm going to show you guys. It's kind of crazy.
I'm not a kid.
Wait, I got to go back. It might, let me replay it. Here we go.
Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
Anyway, I don't know. When the point of that little video is just to remind us that we're not teaching kids. When we are doing professional development, we are not teaching children, we are teaching adults, and it's very different. So Malcolm Knowles is he's kind of a guru of adult learning, and he is the person who came up with the term andragogy. And so he said, as a person matures, his or her self-concept moves from that of a dependent personality toward one of a self-directing human being. And so that it really makes sense when we think about our little children that we teach, our students. They are dependent on someone. They are dependent. They might, especially for their learning, they might be dependent on their teacher or their parent, But once you're an adult, you are responsible for your own learning and you are self-directing. So then as we look at some more thoughts about this, about andragogy, an adult accumulates a growing reservoir of experience, which is a rich resource for learning. So it's an accumulation. It's something that we're building on and we're adding to and we're adding to. The next point is that the readiness of an adult to learn is closely related to the developmental task of his or her social role. So when we want to learn something, depending on where we are, some of the tasks that we have socially will have an impact on how ready we are to learn. The next point is there is a change in time perspective as people mature, from future application of knowledge to immediacy of application. Thus, an adult is more problem-centered than subject-centered. I was thinking about this, and I am a letters trainer for the region, and so I go all over to different districts, and I'm noticing everywhere I go, people want to take what they're learning and apply it right now, like tomorrow. But the reason they want to do that is because they have a student that they are working with, or someone that is in their class that they're trying to solve or trying to help them become a reader, a learner. And so I just think this number 4 point really kind of hit home to me when I thought about that today, because that's where I'm seeing the most growth in the teachers that I'm working with, because they are problem-centered. They want to solve those problems that they're for the kids that they're working with. Then the next point is that adults are mostly driven by internal motivation rather than external motivators. And I'm an adult learner. I just really love to learn. It's seriously, I'm like addicted to learning. And so I'm very motivated to learn new things. I really enjoy learning new things. And I got my administration. I got my master's in administration as my second master's degree, and I graduated in 2020. And when I was done, it's like it takes a couple of years. It's really intensive learning that you're going through. But when I was done, I felt kind of lost. I really wanted a class or do something. So I took up piano lessons. So I've been taking piano now for a little over a year. I'm not good, but I'm very motivated, and it's just internal. It's not something that anyone is telling me to do. My mom is not, paying for my piano lessons. This is an internal motivation. And I do have a goal to play the piano in front of people at some point in my life. It's going to be a while. Let's just say that. But I'm motivated. It's an internal motivation. And then finally, number 6, adults need to know the reason for learning something. And someone said that in the comments earlier. Adults need to know the why. There's no, quote, buy-in from adult learners if they don't know the why for what they're learning. And so these are all from Malcolm Knowles, and I'll be sharing some, we're going to be talking about him and all of these points throughout the rest of this course. So here's a little poll for you. When you are designing professional learning, which of the following assumptions do you usually consciously consider when making decisions about what to include and how to approach learners in your course or in the professional experience? So go ahead and select one or more of these answers, and then I'll share what you guys selected. It'll be kind of interesting. I'll give you just a minute to do that. Let's see. Looks like just about everyone has answered. There's a couple people still waiting on. Give you another 30 seconds.
I'm having a tech issue, so
Oh, okay. Trust me, Lisa, I understand.
but I promise to do it. I just
It's all good. All right, I'm going to share what you guys put. So, a lot of you take into consideration, consciously consider that adults need to know the reason for learning something. That's the answer that got the highest amount of answers. So that's good. A lot of you also said there is a chance in time, or a change in time perspective as people mature, from future application of knowledge to immediacy of application. Thus, an adult is more problem-centered than subject-centered. We talked about that. And it looks like the next one is adults are mostly driven by internal motivation rather than external motivators. An adult accumulates a growing reservoir of experience, which is a rich resource for learning. So lots of, a lot of us consider those are like those top 4 things, but they're, we probably all don't consider all of them. And so as you're going through this class, I'm hoping that you will consider more of these things as you are preparing your professional development for the teachers that you work with. Okay, it's time for a breakout room. And hopefully Jason has seen all of your chat in the chat where where some of you want to be in the same breakout room together. So were you able to adjust those, Jason, or do you still need some time?
I'll push everyone in and then move them around. So
Okay.
we'll go that way.
So yeah, so in this breakout room, I want you to talk about what happens when you don't consider these assumptions. And let's see, I saw that question. Michelle, you asked if this list is in our coursework, and the answer is yes. It is, but it's here, it's somewhere. And I can put it, put my screenshot in there for you too of that list. Anyway, so breakout room, you're going to take 7 minutes and think about when you don't consider these assumptions. Share an experience where you were a learner or a facilitator in a professional learning experience and adult learning assumptions weren't considered. What assumptions were ignored? What was the result in the reception of the professional learning for those participating? So share that experience, and it would be really nice to, you don't have to say, anything really specific, but I really want you to think about how you felt as an adult. When those assumptions weren't considered, how did that make you feel? All right. Okay, go ahead and join your breakout rooms. Sorry, I thought I shared it in the chat. Okay, let me share my screen. Let's keep going with this. So, whoops, wrong one. Okay, so in the breakout room, we were talking about experiences when you were a learner or a facilitator in a professional learning experience and adult learning assumptions weren't considered. And I wanted you to specifically think about how that made you feel. And so let's share out a couple of those. Let me go back there. Share out a couple. Anyone want to share an experience when your adult learners, those assumptions weren't considered and how that made you feel. Go ahead and just unmute.
So I kind of was sharing how I like one of them talks about like the why behind it, but also like the timeliness, like how the learning, like I've experienced professional learning or professional development where I haven't felt like it mattered to me in the moment, or like it wasn't super applicable in my classroom. So it was like I tuned out, or the packets I got, like they went into a drawer immediately when I got back to school. Like I didn't do anything about it or make any changes because I didn't feel like it mattered to me. So that
Yeah.
I guess is the importance of showing the why it matters to make it effective.
That's great, Nicole. What else? Anyone else?
I had one. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So we had a guest speaker come who gave us a training about different things, and he called on me to share. And so I shared my experience with it, and he kind of cut me off and then kind of made a bunch of assumptions about things that I should have tried. And in fact, I had already tried all of those things and I was still having the problem. And so in the training, I felt like he didn't honor my experience or like kind of listen to hear what my experience was. And so after that, I totally tuned him out because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so we're only talking surface level here. We're not going deep after, okay, you tried these 6 things and they didn't work. Now here's what we're gonna do. So I kind of just tuned out at that point.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley. There's so many, adults are driven by that internal motivation. And so when we aren't given choice in what we are learning, or like you said, our past experiences aren't honored, then that it makes it really difficult want to be there. So anyway, all right, so we are going to keep going with this. We're going to talk about what happens when you don't consider these assumptions. So, oh, whoops, sorry, we already did all that. Okay, so now we're going to zoom back in to instructional coaching. So we zoomed out for a minute and we thought about all the different positions within the district or the school that would require us to really understand how to teach adults. Now we're going to zoom back into instructional coaching, and we're going to talk about Malcolm Knowles's assumptions again, and how do they align with what we know about instructional coaching best practices with educators. So go ahead and answer this question. How do Knowles' assumptions align with what we know about instructional coaching best practices with educators? Share an example of one or more of these assumptions, how one or more of these assumptions can positively impact instructional coaching practices. You should, oh yeah, and you can click on that list again there. It's on the Nearpod, or you can click on it in the chat of this meeting. I'll just give you a minute. I'll be quiet and let you answer. Sorry, I've been talking and I was muted. So if this is your answer, would you unmute and just elaborate a little bit on what you said?
So that was me. Just looking at it, I know sometimes what they bring to the table can be difficult, but when you sit down, I think, and really understand what they bring to the table, and you have that sort of side-by-side conversation rather than top-down, you figure out really what their passion is and what they really want to do and what their concerns are, and just makes them feel more respected, more like a professional, not micromanaged. And it's really important to that open relationship with them.
Thanks, Michelle. I agree. And that I think sometimes when we are in as a coach in a situation, sometimes we're looked at as maybe we're a little higher up on the level than the teachers are, but kind of what you said, when we work together and side by side, we're not their boss, we are their their peer, and we're there to help them, and we'll get a lot farther doing it that way than trying to be their boss. Okay, this is another one I'd like, if this is yours, will you unmute and kind of elaborate your thinking, please?
I can't tell which one you're wanting, sorry.
Oh, it's on the Nearpod. Sorry, let me open it up. We know that when coaching, we have to meet teachers where they are. So providing the why is important. When coaching teachers, they want to implement immediately, so they are problem-centered. All right, that's okay. We're going to, okay, let's just go on. Let's go to the next part here. Okay, so I told you we're going to wrap up and kind of talk about what is expected. So if you go to the syllabus, if you don't have to have it open in front of you right now, but I just want to kind of point out to you that there is about 10 hours worth of work that you'll be doing between now and our next meeting. And the assignments are, really doable, but it does take some time. And so remember, and let me stop sharing this and go to the other part here. Remember that when you are doing the assignments, you're going to, well, you know what, I think we'll share back again here. I'm going to go back in. There's some of these assignments that you can collaborate with other people on, and I think you'll enjoy doing that, and you'll probably get a lot out of doing it. So you should be able to see the course here. And so module 1 is the work that you're going to be doing. We just did, I should probably make it student view. It's fine. So we just did this today, and when we're done with today, you'll be done with that assignment. But then you'll go on to the asynchronous module reading and quizzes. And so then you'll just click on here, and it will take you to the workbook, which is, again, like I said, it's a Nearpod that you will be doing as you do your reading. And it's just easier just to go ahead and open up this, and it will kind of guide you through your readings. And it's got kind of some summaries and some open-ended questions and things like that. Now, I want to just point out a couple of other assignments to be looking at. Looking forward to in module 2. This is where I really should have made it student view. Let me do it. Okay, so module 2, you've got all these things here, but this, let's see, right here. Introduction to Adult Learning Theory discussion. There's the discussion, but then this is the philosophy of adult learning assignment. And this is coming up. And again, this won't be due until, let's see, until March. So, sorry. Yeah, until March. And so you've got lots of time, but this is when you open up the assignments, you'll see, you can click on the links that are there and it takes you to something that you could be reading for it, things like that. And it's just right there in the assignment. And as you go, you'll just, follow the instructions for submitting. And then each of these bigger assignments has a rubric so that you kind of know what the requirement is for each of the assignments. And then there's another one I just wanted to point out, couple of upcoming, let me go back. Upcoming assignments in module 3, you have no, that's module 2. I'm going to go to module 3. Sorry. Might be easier if I'm not in the student.
Teresa, can I ask one question? I think you're still in module 1 because the assignment you just clicked on showed that it was due February 20th.
Oh, I think you're right. Hold
Chapter
on.
3, whatever you just showed us said February.
Yeah,
so
that was chapter 3. You're right.
Part of module 1.
Let me leave student view. Let me look at module 2 here. Okay, this will just be easier if I'm not in the student view. Okay, here we go. So module 2, you've got this individual change project. And this is what I really wanted to show you because this is going to take some time. But so this assignment, you will be kind of thinking about something that you want to do. And the point of this assignment is to kind of help you see this as an adult learner, how it feels to be an adult learner. And you're going to really be paying attention to how it feels to learn something new. And you can choose, you're going to be learning, it could be, learning how to use a new technology tool or a new exercise routine, how to fix something, how to build something. You could be, maybe you want to learn to knit or crochet, or you want to learn a new recipe or how to make sushi or, something like that. And so I guess what I'm saying is have fun with this, but you might want to be prepared. I wanted to prepare you for it now because it might take, some planning or preparation to do this assignment. And it's once you don't feel like you have to do this week or anything. Like it's coming up and it's not for a while, but I just wanted you to be prepared for it. And then I already told you about the in module 4. Oh, wait, it must be in module 1. Oh, here we go. The professional learning design. And this is something that you can work with. This is what I was talking about. You could work with someone in your district or in your school to plan. You're basically planning a professional development experiment or experience for the people that you work with. And so this, again, I opened these up. They should work for you. You should be able to look at these ahead of time. And
I know a lot of people are putting it in the chat, but I don't think any of us can see it. I only see module 1.
Okay. Well, then I will work on that and make sure that you can see these because I want you to be able to plan for these and prepare for these. So I will, sorry, thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, the only module 1 is open right now.
Okay. So even if I I thought I clicked on them to publish it. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to open these then, because I think it's really nice. It's important, and especially the professionll learning design project part 1 and part 2. This is in module 3 and module 4. And if we're going to give you time at the end of class to work on this, you have to know what is expected of you. So we will get those open for you right away. In fact, I don't know, Jason, if that's something you can do right now while we're talking. Then when we, any questions that you have or anything that you want to, whoops, I don't think you need all that. No. Okay, well, I don't know where my wrapping up, but I think I finished out pretty much the Nearpod. Let me just look here. I don't know where my Nearpod went, but it doesn't matter. We're good. We're pretty much done. So if you have any additional questions, we can answer those now. If you want to, Jason, are you able to open those up for us right now?
I can see them.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
okay.
but if other people can't, but I'm looking at you opening them up.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I want you guys to have access to those so that you can kind of know. I don't want you doing them ahead of time or anything necessarily, but I want you to know what is coming up and be able to work on that. So
it looks like Jason's is put them up there. We can now access them.
Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, let me just
Thank you.
Stop sharing. Let's see if I got, okay, so let's see. Laura, sorry you didn't get to submit your answer, and it's okay. I'm not going to take points off or anything on that. Try to let everybody answer, and sometimes I just don't give quite enough time. So I apologize. I will do better at that. So, all right. As we are wrapping up, any questions? Any thoughts? I hope that you guys are excited about this class, because I love it. I think it's a really fun one, and I think it's going to be really impactful. If you are an instructional coach, this class, I promise, is very applicable to everything that you are doing, and I think you'll like it. You'll learn a lot. So thank you for coming, and I'll let you go. Next time we'll probably have a little bit better understanding of some of the projects after you've read through it and things like that, and then you can talk to people and get them on board as far as your plan goes. Thanks, you guys. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Teresa, I have a couple questions for you, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I tried to do all the Nearpods that we were assigned to do